This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
Good day and welcome to the Week in Review on Providence Television International. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa. We'll be going straight to our first story. The federal government has received $52.88 million in recovered assets linked to former Minister of Petroleum Diezani Alison Madueke from the United States. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, disclosed this during the formal signing ceremony of the assets agreement between Nigeria and the United States in Abuja on Friday. Fagbemi stated that $50 million of the recovered assets will be deployed through the World Bank for the development of rural electrification projects, while the remaining $2 million will be used by the International Institute of Justice to expand the justice system and combat crime. The federal government on Tuesday began paying retired military personnel their long overdue entitlements after repeated protest by the veterans. The ex-military men who converged on the Ministry of Finance headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday started receiving payment alerts from the protest ground. The retirees had barricaded the entrance to the Ministry of Finance in Abuja as early as 7 a.m. on Tuesday, using canopies and chairs to demand full payment of their entitlements. This protest followed a similar action in December, during which the retirees shut down the ministry over the government's failure to settle their claims. For months, the retirees were told that there were no funds to clear their entitlements, despite official approval for the payments. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it released a total sum of $1.25 billion to oil sector operators for the importation of petroleum products and other related items into the country between January and September 2024. This is despite the removal of fuel subsidies and the implementation of reforms in the oil sector to boost local production. Fuel imports, a significant consumer of foreign exchange, impacts the country's foreign reserves and the naira to dollar rates. Marketers are agitating for relevant authorities to fix the cost of locally refined products in naira and not dollars, just as the Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria expressed regret that jetty charges are still in dollars. The World Bank has urged private sector investors to play a pivotal role in achieving its Mission 300 initiative, which aims to connect 300 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, including Nigeria, to electricity by 2030. The initiative is a collaborative effort with the African Development Bank to address the region's significant energy access gap, where 600 million people lack electricity. To build momentum towards the target, the global lender is implementing large-scale projects such as the Nigeria Distributed Access through Renewable Energy Scale-Up. The former Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has expressed concern over the rising wave of crimes, particularly kidnappings across the nation. In a statement on Thursday shared on his Twitter account, the former governor decried the escalating wave of kidnappings and killings, stressing that the negative impact has been felt in critical sectors such as agriculture, education, and healthcare. He noted that the frequent occurrence of such crimes is causing a lot of apprehension to the Nigerian populace. He called on the federal government to engage every security option at its disposal in curbing the menace and ensuring the safe rescue of those in captivity. An Abuja-based arts collector and one-time Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Emmanuel Imohe, has called on the federal government to create an enabling environment for talented artists to benefit from their talents. Ambassador Imohe stated this during an exclusive interview on the program Prime Movers on Providence Television International today. He noted that Nigeria is blessed with talented artists, and a collaboration between the private and public sector will boost the benefits of artworks across the country. Ambassador Imohe, who recently presented an outstanding piece of art to a centenarian Pa Augustine Bazwaye in commemoration of his 100th year birthday celebration, which took place in Benin City on the 5th of November 2024, emphasized the need for young artists to be encouraged.
To create enabling environments for them to benefit from their God-given talents. I think government should look at it. Respective government should look at it.
Don't you ever think of partnership between government and the private sector?
Oh yes, that is, the private sector has a role to play. Government has a role to play.
Good.
It's not, it can't be done by government alone.
That's true.
Yeah, and it also shouldn't be done by the private sector alone. That enabling environment, the creation of which the government has responsibility for, has to be explored.
The Enoge of Ugbeson, His Royal Highness Enoge Aduwa Ugegbain, has called on the federal government to enhance teachers' remuneration as a source of motivation to encourage teachers to do their job better while improving the standard of education in the country. The Enoge disclosed this in a press statement recently, stressing that teachers provide valuable services to the society as they educate and train young citizens who are potential leaders of the future. Highlighting factors necessary for quality education in Nigeria, he noted that the conducive learning environment, good teacher training program, enhanced teachers' remuneration, curriculum development, and adequate funding are basic requirements for the improvement of the education sector in Nigeria. The Enoge further stated that quality education is expected to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Operatives of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command have arrested 50 suspects for allegedly stealing streetlights and manhole covers. Parading the suspects in Abuja on Monday, the Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, said no fewer than 25 manhole covers, 5 solar street lights, 15 streetlight poles cut into smaller pieces, several galvanized poles used in the construction of flyovers, rolls of high-voltage AEDC cables, and 2 locally made pistols were recovered from the suspects. The Commissioner of Police disclosed that the suspects were part of an organized network that specializes in vandalizing public installations and selling them to scrap dealers. We'll take this break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This is Providence Television International, the toast of today's television viewers. Don't be left out.
Thanks for staying tuned. If you are just joining in, this is the week in review on Providence Television International. 5 people were killed in a tanker explosion, with many properties, including banks and vehicles, burnt in Agbo, Ika South local government area of Delta State on Sunday. The incident occurred along the ever-busy Old Lagos-Asaba Road as the tanker fell when the driver tried to make a turn on the road. The tanker immediately burst into flames as it hit the tarmac. The Delta State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Bright Edafe, confirmed the incident. 18 people have sustained severe injuries in a gas explosion that occurred in the Orazi community of Port Harcourt. The incident, which occurred on Sunday evening at the gas refilling station, caused substantial damage to nearby buildings. The Rivers State Police Command confirmed the incident on Monday, stating that the explosion was caused by a welder repairing a refrigerator. The command spokesperson, SP Grace Iringekoko, disclosed that the injured victims suffered varying degrees of burns and were promptly taken to a hospital where they received medical attention. The victims include a pregnant woman, 4 children, and a couple. And on the foreign scene, observances honoring the late President Jimmy Carter concluded with an interment on Thursday evening in his hometown of Plains, Georgia, following a private service at Maranatha Baptist Church. Carter, who was the oldest living former U.S. president, died on December 29, 2024, at the age of 100. Over the weekend, Carter's motorcade traveled through Plains and arrived at the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta, where Carter lay in repose. His casket was then taken to Washington, D.C. to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda ahead of a state burial. Eulogizing Carter during the state funeral at the Washington National Cathedral on Thursday, President Joe Biden stated that Jimmy Carter will be remembered as a man who never let the ties of politics divert him from his mission to serve and shape the world. Present at the funeral service were former U.S. Presidents Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and President-elect Donald Trump. Tens of thousands of people have been forced to flee parts of Los Angeles as strong winds drove the rapid growth of wildfires around the western United States city. More than 30,000 people were evacuated as high winds aided the spreading of the fire. Frightened residents abandoned their cars, fleeing on foot from the almost 3,000-acre blaze engulfing an area packed with multi-million-dollar homes in the Santa Monica Mountains. Over 10 people have lost their lives. At least 126 people have been killed and 188 injured when a powerful earthquake struck a remote region of Tibet. The earthquake, which occurred at 1:05 Greenwich Meridian Time, measured 71 on the Richter scale. The powerful earthquake, with tremors felt in Nepal, Bhutan, and parts of northern India, caused infrastructural damage with over 1,000 buildings reduced to rubble. The epicenter of the quake was the Shigatse high-altitude county of Dingri, located on the Chinese side of Mount Everest and home to about 62,000 people. At least 19 people have been killed in Chad, where security forces prevented an attempt by armed fighters to storm the presidential complex in the capital, in N'Djamena. Chad's foreign minister and government spokesman Abdurrahman Koulamala stated on Wednesday that the situation is completely under control as the destabilization attempt was put down. The attack comes less than 2 weeks after Chad held a contested general election that was marked by low turnout and opposition allegations of fraud. At least 6 people have been crushed to death and dozens injured as a crowd surged at one of the most visited Hindu religious sites at Tirupati town in India's southern state of Andhra Pradesh. The incident occurred on Wednesday night as a huge crowd gathered to collect free entrance tokens to visit the town's Sri Venkateswara Swami temple. Deadly accidents are commonplace at Deadly accidents are commonplace at places of worship in India during major religious festivals due to poor crowd management and safety lapses. And that's the week in review on Providence Television International. Thanks for watching. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa. Please stay tuned.